Rob Star Gang, what up? What up? It's a late one. It's a late one. I tell you what, the grind doesn't stop, though, baby. The grind doesn't stop. Just like the Boston Celtics and the Miami Heat in the background. Got that game on right now. This is the only time I watch NBA, honestly, guys. Is when the playoffs come on. I can't watch the regular season. I just can't. I'll watch the play-in tournaments and I'll watch the playoffs, but like I can't watch NBA during the regular season. It's just I just can't get into it. I just cannot get into it. So appreciate everyone joining the live stream. Make sure you pound the like button. This is a late one because my work schedule has been crazy. So it's been crazy. But it's a good crazy though, right? You know, when you're busy when you're in sales and marketing like I am, it's a good thing. Okay. But I wish I was doing this full time. So make sure you pound that like button because that helps out. That helps out because I could actually use my marketing skills a lot better. And then I would have more time to do some crazier, more content and better content and get really creative with it. So, but I appreciate everyone joining. Got a poll up right now. I got a poll up. Who's y'all's guy? Who's the guy in this draft class? Who will be the best QB in the 2024 draft? Me personally, I like Jaden Daniels. I think he's best. When you watch this tape, he's best against man and zone coverage, and he puts it right on the money against zone coverage and his versatility and athleticism. I think if he can just put on some extra weight, I think he could be the best quarterback here. Again, I think a sleeper is Spencer Rattler, but that's because I'm a little bit of a homer on that one, but it is what it is. But I look forward to the draft. We're definitely going to break down the draft tonight. We're going to do the first 3 rounds in a mock draft. I'm going to give you a prediction. I know I kind of did this the other day, but I didn't get to really give it to you guys the way I wanted to give it to you. Pause. But we're going to break it down today. So, and plus the change of scenery, my daughter's asleep in her bedroom, so I had to come out to my living room and do it this way because since it's so late. So, I did not want to wake her up. That's the last thing we want to do right now. So again, appreciate everyone joining. Let's get into it. Let's get this pulled up. I really don't need that. Do I like this one? Which one do we like better? That one's kind of cool. That one's pretty. That's solid. We'll rock with that, right? We'll rock with that. Why not? Some interesting news came out. I came out across some interesting news. There's apparently the Carolina Panthers are still looking for that QB3. We know like last month they had that annual league meeting, and head coach Dave Canales came out and mentioned that they're looking for that veteran and prior to before this whole draft, right? And Joe Parsons came out and said something, David Newton came out and said something, and all these other guys came out and said something. And I don't think that's the case anymore. Obviously, there's been reports that Canales and Dan Morgan would consider drafting a quarterback during the day 3. Some prospects apparently are that they're apparently interested in Spencer Rattler's one of them. Joe Milton's one of them. There's been Devin Leary out of Kentucky. It'll be interesting to see who the Panthers end up choosing if they do end up choosing a quarterback at all. Again, we've got first picks in undrafted free agency and waiver wire. So again, there's definitely going to be some guys that we could probably pick up in both of those. And it'll be exciting to see if they end up drafting a quarterback and who, if they do so, and see how they perform and how they can contribute to this team. So interesting to see, just some news out there, but I don't know. Everything's speculation at this point, right? So Dave Canales came out with a few comments earlier this week about their practice. And he came out with their first practice. Well, this was after their first practice. Fuck was that? Damn bug. I don't know what it was. So the Panthers are trying to get back into competitiveness, I would say, not contention. I think a lot of people want to say contention this year, but they're not getting back into contention. That's not the consensus here I'm getting. How are they doing that though? How can they become competitive again is the question, because Dave Canales says that they need to get back to the basics. And what does that exactly entitle? Like, what are the basics? Okay. What are the basics? I kind of want to get to the first practice, to some of the first practice stuff. Let's see if I can pull it up. Yeah, I mean, here's the one that was talking about starting with the basics.
So these are how we talk about the language. We have 5 types of reads. Here are those reads. So it's really just about the basics, just giving him the language. And I think that if we can get all on the same page with the language, again, new offense, new terms. So it all starts there. And if we can communicate, we speak the same language, we can build anything pretty fast. Start with the basics. Here's my stance.
So back to basics. So he's talking about stance. He's talking about footwork, and he's basically preaching this message to, ever since he got the gig, right? If we think about it, he's been saying Bryce just needs to get back to the basics. Everybody just needs to get back to, he just needs to get back to the basic, which just starts from the bottom up. He's even said that. So it seems like the team is on board. And obviously, in fact, they just had their first, today was their second, but I wanted to go over the recap the first day, and then we'll go into the second day. But obviously, had their first session, voluntary minicamp. Canales was asked how it went. Obviously, he said it was great to be out there. Of course, he's going to be Mr. Optimistic that he is. And he said it felt like a surreal moment. He said he used to coach the black and blue team that was his alma mater back in Carson High School. Now he's coaching the Panthers, who are in their blue jerseys. Pretty cool. He said that was pretty cool. So most of the roster was there the first day, except a few players who had private situations going on. One player who was there definitely was obviously Bryce. Had a rough rookie season. Canales was hired in part, obviously, to help get him going, and it seems to have faith in him. And we all know Canales has a pretty good track record when it comes to helping quarterbacks. And when he was behind the career resurgence of Geno Smith, apparently, and that seems to be how he came out. Baker Mayfield in 2020. So hopefully he can work his magic with Young, and that's what we're all hoping and looking to see, right? And help the Panthers get back on track. Obviously, still early in the days, being here, maybe getting back to the basics is just what this team needed. I mean, sometimes that's what it takes. And that's just not in football. That's in a lot of sports. They're just taking it one step at a time. And that's how I live my life. I take it one day at a time. So who knows? Maybe they'll make a huge leap forward. But that's still to be seen. Supernova, what's good, man? It's good. It's been a while. J Issues in here. Jadarius, what's up? Supernova. Marco saying, what's up to Supernova? Rock Jones. Clay on at night. Oh shit, let's do this. Yeah, it's a late one, boys. It's a late one. Bryce might need to get in the prayer line. Is he waiting to get baptized? Is that what you're saying, Supernova? Waiting to get baptized? That's funny. Real Jalen, what's up, man? Appreciate you joining the live stream. Clay working the night shift, man. The grind don't stop, man. I'm Monday through Friday. I told y'all that. Once the season starts, it will be Monday through Sunday. Besides Saturday. There will be no Saturdays. That'll be for my college football day. All right. That'll be the day for me to cook out and get drunk at my own house and watch football all day long. That will be that's my Saturdays when football season's around. All right, let's move on. Now, Deontay Johnson, we're just recapping over the first practice first. Basically came out and said, I would like to see if I have the video of that. I might have to use, okay, perfect. Here it is. Well, no, let's talk about Bryce. Where was the other one? Okay, here it is. So basically, Deontay Johnson came out and said that
told me that as soon as I got here, Dave told me that as soon as I got here, I'm playing the X. You're gonna be the first read in a progression almost every play. So, because my unique skill set I bring to the table, and I'm gonna utilize it.
I love to hear that. Obviously, they got big plans for him, and I hope they make most of those plans and clear right from the start. Obviously, during this press conference, Johnson obviously spoke about his role after the first day and all that. He's here to make life easier for Bryce Young. That's what he's here to do. He's here to be that guy who can get open anywhere on the field. He's the first read. Because guess who was the first read last year? It was Jonathan Mingo. Jonathan Mingo was the first read guy before Adam Thielen. Jonathan Mingo was the first read guy. And you know what's crazy about Jonathan Mingo? You know how bad he was last year? He was 25% open on the first read. That's how bad he is at route running. He doesn't fit the X spot. And they were using him as an X. I think Mingo would thrive in the slot. I really do. I really believe that. But that's what this guy's here to do. He's here to be the X. He's here, and we just need a Y. Whether that's Xavier Legette, Keon Coleman, maybe we get lucky somehow and Brian Thomas falls to 33. Or I'm not voting for trading up. I mean, the Bengals just came out today and got two guys that want to be traded. They don't even want to play there. You know, you got T. Higgins and Hendrickson over there. They don't want to be there anymore. So T. Higgins could still somehow be in this mix. Because we've talked about T. Higgins multiple times on this channel saying he's available. You know what I mean? But Deontay Johnson, man, the Panthers obviously are telling him he's going to be the X. He's going to be the first read guy, right? That's a pretty big deal considering the fact that the X receiver is usually the go-to guy on a team. Last year, Mingo wasn't the go-to guy, but he was the first read guy. That just doesn't make sense. If he's not the go-to guy, why is he the X? Thielen was the go-to guy, obviously. But the Panthers made this such a bold move for Deontay Johnson because of his impressive track record, because of how he was able to get open and how he's able to create separation on the field. Okay. I mean, you traded this guy for a Dante Jackson who can't stay healthy and a late round pick to get him. I mean, if this guy can keep up the impressive stats that he's had over the years, it could prove to be a fruitful move for the Panthers. Because Johnson's skill set is what sets him apart from other receivers in the league. He averages nearly 128 targets per season as a pro. So he's used to seeing the ball come his way very often, obviously. So they plan to make him the first read on almost every play, and it's clear that they have a lot of faith in him. I think it's going to be interesting to see how his performance in this new role here. And one thing's for sure, he's ready to make plays, and he's going to help this team. But I'm interested to see how this pans out. Very interested to see. AJ Brooks, what's up? Damn. Hey, man. You know, he should have got hymns, man. Should have got hymns. I wonder if Phillip Rivers has ever heard of Head. Has he ever heard of Head? I should follow these over social media because a lot of the players at the Panthers draft hustlers don't post workout videos or hype to be on the team. Mingo posts nothing Panther related. I follow most players on social media. I really do. Man, I see Johnson, Ladd, Thielen group at wide receiver. The line gives Bryce time. We will see what Bryce is going to do because that group or wide receiver will be open for sure. I say to that to say I'm ready to move on from Mingo. It's not looking good for Mingo. I'll be honest with you for that. Dave Canales did come out and say his early impressions of Bryce. And that was, I think that was the video right there. I might have just passed it. That's the basics video. Where's the one? I think this was it right here. Yeah, here, let's watch this real quick.
Meeting with him at the combine. He was coming out. And I was like, you fixed something. I told him, I said, from the end of the season to the playoffs, you fixed something. I want you to talk about it and tell him what it was. And he talked, and then he talked about narrowing his base and getting to the point where he can stay compact and tall and be able to deliver throws. And so it was a really cool connection between he and I because I just showed him my notes and I said,
31 people watching. Make sure you pound that like button.
Thank you very much. You know, but it was really me seeing like, is this guy aware of what his deficiencies are, what he needs to work on? And that was a classic test for guys. If they're not aware of things that they're holes, you know, if they're not aware of things they need to improve on, then I think that doesn't mean they can't ever have it. But I just noticed the guys that do have the awareness, they get further faster. We had a form.
Yeah, so basically what he's saying is these were his early impressions. And apparently Young thinks that, you know, well, actually, this was the one I was talking about. I was trying to find, where was the one? There's a certain video I was trying to find. Yeah, here, I think this is the early impression.
Yeah, just that that energy, just from the first phone call all the way till now, you can tell. He just has that energy, that excitement. He just brings just brings juice every day, and you know, just that rubs off not just on the offense, on the whole team, and really on the whole building. You know, everyone just being in here working there. There's a different juice, different vibe. And you know, we all kind of have that.
Yeah, because because Bryce doesn't have a coach that sounds like fucking Eeyore trying to be like, yeah, man, go out there and win. I mean, we had Eeyore in here and a guy that was at the podium every day who looked like he smoked a pack of Marlboro Reds and a 12 pack of Budweiser the night before. I mean, you definitely get a different vibe from Dave Canales. So basically, Young came out and said that Dave Canales is pretty energetic, exciting coach, rubs off on the whole team. Obviously, we know that this kid had a rocky season last year, but he seems to be excited with the new coaching staff and a whole different new vision and that they're bringing to the table. And he mentioned how important it is to have one consistent voice, right? Not multiple, not multiple, one. And everyone is on the same page. Everyone's on the same page. Who would have fucking thought that would work out? It finally makes sense, doesn't it? Finally makes sense. So it's good to see. Well, again, I'm gonna hold myself to realism and say, I got to see it pan out on the field. But I could imagine that Canales must be feeling how he must be feeling after hearing those words from his quarterback. I mean, it's his first season as an NFL coach, and he's trying to create this environment, right? That just wants you to come in and to work, right? It makes you want to come to work. It makes you want to come in and work hard and be great at what you do, right? So with Young and this rest of this team, everybody's got to be feeling excited, motivated, because it seems like he's on the right track. Overall, I think it's great to see how much already an impact a coach can have just by the energy he brings and the attitude he can bring to a team. Now, again, that doesn't mean that the performance on the field is going to change, but we shall see. We shall see. But I do like it. I do like it. I'm trying to find my favorite video from yesterday. This was my favorite video from yesterday.
Let him cook. Let him cook now. Let him cook. I said let him cook. Let him cook.
So obviously Dave Canales is basically, you can tell basically from these mini camps that he's starting a QB school. Basically. Well, that's what a lot of people are calling it. They added pieces on this offense and more. I mean, they had a press conference. All these press conferences, and they've said a lot of interesting things to me that stuck out. So in the past, they used to pick out some of the best quotes from press conferences and compile them in a segment called Quick Hits. A lot of people did that. But this year they kind of changed it up. But anyways, one of the things that stood out to me was the attendance for the offseason program. I think has been really impressive. Another thing is Canales has mentioned that he's trying to make it a good time for the players, which I think is definitely important. Something that they can be excited about, rather than it just being another off-season program, right? Obviously, the topic though that came up in one of these press conferences, which I still can't find that video, and I need to find it, was the development of Bryce Young. So this team's, so Canales talked about how he's always starts with the basics, which we did see that video, but I was trying to find the other one. But like teaching the players their stance and footwork inventory, he said he even mentioned a video by Kobe Bryant that recommends watching. He came out and said that, and speaking of players, he also wants to challenge the roster every year. And he said something else like that. I wish I could find the full video, but it is what it is. So, I mean, I could find it. I could go on YouTube, but I just don't want to get burned for it for our copyright issues. So he wants to find more weapons for the offense, and they don't want to settle for what they already have. And we all know that was going to happen in this draft. They added great players with this team, and they'll make everyone better, and hopefully it'll make everyone better. But Canales is really focused on making sure this team is consistently improving and developing, and whether it's through the offseason or finding new talent. And I think that is something that stuck out to me the most because I don't remember the last time we've either had a GM or a head coach who thought like that. I can't remember the last time we've had that. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Let's talk about Chuba. Let's go to Chuba Hubbard's video real quick. Want to find it first. There he is. Let's talk about Chuba Hubbard. So Chuba Hubbard.
To be honest, football is my life.
So Chuba Hubbard came out and said that all he wants to do is win, and all he wants to do is win here in Carolina. And he came out, but this is just a short clip.
An identity outside of that, but when it's football, like that's all I know. In the off season, it's hard to switch it off. But when I do, I try to get away, get a little vacation. Obviously, go back home to Canada, see my family. Like I said, I have clothes and stuff. Y'all probably heard, so I work on my clothes and stuff in the off season. But once football turns back on, that's all I am.
So the guy's all about ball. The thing is he's had. I feel like he's had a constant presence here in the past 3 seasons. And, despite the fact that this guy has faced various challenges. Various challenges. Okay. He recently came out with, and this was part of the video you didn't see, and he says he feel like he's regained his confidence. He's rebuilt his body, where the key factors that helped him perform at his best. Now, this guy had to undergo double abductor surgery and meniscus surgeries before his rookie season, if you didn't know that, which affected his performance on the field, obviously. But obviously, this guy's a hard worker, dedicated. He managed to come over those health issues, and then he bounced back stronger. So, really, last season, I felt this guy had the most impressive season this past season. He rushed for his career high of 902 yards, almost 1,000 yards. That is, to me, a testament of this guy's determination and resilience as a football player. Now, here's the thing. Despite facing various issues and various health issues, he's never let that affect his performance on the field. And he believes that building a solid base, putting all the pieces together, that's how he is successful. But he's obviously, to me, determined to do whatever it takes to be the best that he can. And even in his interview, he expressed his desire to win. He wants to be a valuable asset to this team. He wants to be one of the best tools for the Panthers, whether it's catching the ball, pass blocking, run the ball. His ultimate goal is to help this team win and bring success here. This guy has faced various challenges after in the past 3 seasons, between injuries, new head coaches, new scheme, new playbooks. And this guy's never given up and has worked his ass off every single time he's here. I think we can all learn a thing or two from this guy. Not only for the fact of what he can bring to the table for the Carolina Panthers, but for us ourselves in fucking life. How we can strive to be the best that we can be on and off the field. But I'm just saying, I like Chuba Hubbard. I just think that I do like him a lot. I just hope that he can put it all together. And I hope we can get that Oklahoma State Chuba Hubbard. Randall, I wouldn't be surprised by that, honestly. I think he can be 1,000-yard back. He was very close last year. This schedule is going to be tough, though. That's something we're going to have to go over. Once that full schedule goes out, we're going to do a full schedule breakdown. Damn, Miami just cooked them. Miami just cooked the Boston Celtics. They absolutely cooked them. Man, it's crazy to me. The Celtics are going to pull the Celtics. They always are going to pull the Celtics. Where's Adam Thielen's video? They got one up here. Just trying to hope to see if I can find Adam Thielen. There was a video of Adam Thielen. Where is it? I wonder if I can find the Adam Thielen one. I don't know if there's a video out there. I mean, I can go to, obviously, the thing. Let me see. Let me see if I can find something. I want Jermaine Burton and Ray Davis. I mean, I like Ray Davis. I think he would fit the scheme, so that I'm not opposed to him. I still believe we need a guy that's more of a power back than what Ray Davis can bring to the table. I would say to Jermaine Burton, I'm just worried about the locker room issues. We've already got Deontay Johnson, who does have some character issues, but Jermaine Burton's character issues are also an issue. Does his performance hinder that? Not really, but again, it all depends. I'm not opposed to it, but because it would bring familiarity, obviously, to Bryce, but again, I'm not too sure. I'm just not too sure about Jermaine Burton. I was trying to find a video of Adam Thielen, but I can't find it, so that's fine. Which is kind of crazy. I thought I could find a video. Let me see if I can find one real quick. Oh, here's a good one.
I think he brings versatility, brings a confidence. I think he brings experience. I think he brings versatility. He's a guy that can do a lot of things. You know, just from watching him from afar and being around the last couple of days, he's a guy that can do a lot of things well, which I think in this league is really important and can really elevate an offense when a guy can be very versatile, similar to a lot of guys that have had success in this league. You look like Devontae Adams and Justin Jefferson. You know, some of those guys that have had a lot of success, they can do a lot of things well. They're not just pigeonholed and being an X receiver or only in the slot, just doing a lot of things well. So it really helps the coaches to be able to kind of move people around and just kind of make it tough on the defense. He brings a confidence. I think he brings experience.
So there's one thing that Adam Thielen did say in that press conference was he talked about the new coaching staff. And he started off raving about the passion of Dave Canales, and then the offensive coordinator, Brad Adizik, and then his position coach, Rob Moore. And basically to him, this new staff just loves the game of football. And he says their enthusiasm is contagious. And Thielen added that he can feel it in the meetings and on the field, and it makes everyone's mood a lot better. So basically, who knew that a coach's energy could have such a big impact on a team? Who knew that? I think. Oh, I did. I knew that because we let Eeyore in the building last year after he got fired a month before. After a month of being fired by the Indianapolis Colts. Make fucking sense. And another thing is what Canales is doing already some unique things, guys. I mean, I'm still going to be realistic. I still think this, I can't I'm still going to be optimistic about how this coach is and his energy. It's you can't not feel optimistic about it. But am I going to sit here and say this team's going to win the Super Bowl? No. But would I run through a fucking wall based off this guy's energy? Absolutely, I would. He's basically establishing a fresh, energetic atmosphere within this organization that we didn't have last year. We didn't have this last year. We had Eeyore. Hi, guys. Today's practice, we're going to line up the running backs, cornerbacks, and edge and defensive tackles. Let's show some serious dedication to the game. That's fucking Frank Wright. That's an Eeyore. Okay. But let me get back to Thielen real quick. He's only 9 years younger. First off, he's only 9 years younger than Canales. And our offensive coordinator, Adizik, or Adizik, however you pronounce his name. So, and he believes that the age is just a number, and the connection with this staff has started to make with the players, and it's about more about who they are as people, not their age. So Thielen gave an example to this and said that, like, Pete Carroll, who's an older guy, but still relates well with players. And you could see that in Seattle. It's all about energy. It's all about passion. It's about the ability to communicate with your guys. And basically, Thielen came out and said that with these coaches can bring that kind of mindset and energy to the daily routine. And it's when they start to, and that's how you start to earn the respect of the players. You relate to them. You don't become their friend because you want them to respect you, but you want to relate. But it feels like a friendship, though. Right? So, and that's now what's exactly happening with the new coaching staff. And then Thielen came out and said that he believes that the guys want to play for them because they can feel their passion and see it day in and day out through the good and the bad times. Obviously, when you hire a coach, it sounds like Eeyore, bad things happen. Bad things happen. Now we get Barney and friends. Hey, call it what you want. I'd rather have Barney and friends than Eeyore and the so-called Avengers. Well, really, it's the so-called rats. So I'd rather have Barney and friends than Eeyore and the rats. Just saying. That's what I would rather have. Guys, make sure you pound that like button as you're coming in. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Make sure you click that post notification bells. Normally, some of you that watch me on a consistent basis know I'm not live this late at night. Normally, I'm live at 11 a.m., 12 p.m., sometimes 1 p.m., 2 p.m. The latest, normally 3 p.m. That is the latest I'm normally live. But I was like, I will not miss a live stream. I've been so consistent from Monday through Friday. I've not missed a live stream in a while. So I refused to miss a live stream today. I was like, I got to keep the streak alive. We got to keep pushing. We got to keep the grind. All right, let's get back to some more news with Austin Corbett. So Austin Corbett came out. I know his video's in here somewhere. We saw that. I want to talk about Mr. Corbett here. Okay, well, let's watch both of these and then we'll get back to it. Let's start with this one first.
Joe Thomas just retired, and so it's like, all right, they need a tackle. Their interior was really locked up between Joe Botonio, J.C. Trader, Kevin Zeichler, three guys that I've stayed close with, and they've mentored me a lot, and they were making a lot of money at the time. So it was like, all right, yeah, they don't need an interior. And so I really just kind of wrote them off. So when I got that Cleveland area code calling that day, it was just like, oh, all right, that's fine. But, Joel played at Nevada with me, so I had that connection with him. But going Friday or Thursday night, I just kind of like, all right, let's take a breath. Like, I needed a lot to go right. My agent told me to sneak into the first round. I wasn't anticipating that at all. So, I got to work out in.
Maybe I will, Ropp.
Nevada there at campus.
Maybe I will.
Mornings,
Maybe we'll make it Wednesday night.
Now, fortunately, being on the West Coast, the time catches up a lot quicker. So I had to wait until 3 instead of 7 being out here. But Joe Thomas just retired, and so it's like, all right, they need a tackle. Their interior
let's watch the other
really locked up between Joe. Find out.
What is that process been like?
Well, it's been fine. I've been groomed to be a center my entire career. Kind of even starting back in college. Played every game at left tackle, but my head coach, Brian Polian, he's like, you want to play in the league, like, you're going to be a good center. You're too smart not to. And so from that time, I've just been constantly groomed to be a center. I've been an emergency center every team I've been on, constantly taking reps. I was the starting center going into Super Bowl here back in 21 through training camp, and then ended up shifting around. The backup center was healthier than I thought, so I shifted back out to right guard. But it's nothing new by any stretch of the imagination.
Has there been
find out.
So Austin Corbett might be too big of a personality to play guard because he showed it during that interview. I felt like because apparently he's talking about he's talking about his move from right guard to center during the team's second outing of this minicamp. And initially Corbett was a bit coy, right? When it came to the reporters and they asked about the transition, but eventually he spilled all these beans, right? He said the move won't be a challenge for him since he's been groomed to be a center his entire career. In fact, his college head coach, Brian Polian, once told him that he's too smart not to be a good center. Interesting. How's that knee though, Austin? Because that's what I need to know. No offense. Like the guy. But I need to know how that knee is. Because the thing, even though Corbin has never played a regular season snap from that position, he has been the emergency center in every team he's been on. Bet you didn't know that. So he's constantly taking reps and has played the position during preseason games. So why the sudden shift? Well, obviously this team doesn't have a center. Bradley Bozeman's gone. They went out and got guards like Robert Hunt, Damian Lewis, which might have sparked the change, obviously. Okay. Now, Corbett has missed 13 games. He missed 13 games last season due to 2 knee injuries, technically, if you think about it. One coming off the ACL injury, and then 4 games later, tearing his MCL. So the move might be the way. There will be a way to ease him back into the game because here's the thing. Corbett seems to have a trick up his sleeve the way he's coming off. And that may give him the advantage possibly in his new role, but he talks too much as a guard. Because the thing is it makes it like it's nature to him to obviously be in the guard position, but it also seems natural to him to take control as a center because apparently every offensive line coach he's had has told him he's going to play center at some point in his career, and now it's 2024, and it's finally happened. I just need to know how that knee is. I like Corbett at center. I think he could be a great center. I think he's athletic and versatile enough. The problem is for me is his knee okay? Are we good to go? That's what I need to know. Clay, hit on what you think we should do if everyone we talked about is there at 33. So Ladd, XL, Worthy, Mitchell, JPJ, all the DNs. If they're all there, what's the play? Add Wiggins and Kool-Aid to that list? Oh, dude, Randall, this is a tough question. Holy shit. Because here's the thing. We need a DN. We need to add to the pass rush. We need a center. But we do need a wide receiver. We need that X. I mean, the corner could be the pick too there. I still think that it's XL at 33. I still think they take a wide receiver, whether it's XL, whether it's Ladd, whether it's Mitchell, whether it's Worthy. I still think they take a wide receiver at 33. I think so. That's the issue, Mocha. That is the biggest issue. Is that we do need a lot. We have a lot of holes to fill here. So Randall, to your question, I still think we take a wide receiver. And that might not mean that, and that might not be Xavier Legette. It might not be Ladd. Hell, it might not be Worthy. It might not be Mitchell. It could end up being Keon Coleman for all we know. But I think that at 33, they take a wide receiver. Even if all those guys are there and even all the defensive ends are there. I still think that they take Ladd. Or I still think they take a wide receiver. I can't guarantee you who they're picking. But if I was picking, I'm taking XL at 3 or at 33. It's between XL and Worthy for me because I think Worthy could be a great Y. I think, but again, a wide receiver really isn't Worthy's specialty. Worthy and Ladd, but here's the thing. Here's the thing I want to explain though, Randall. I hear you and I get why you're upset. But here's the thing, Randall. They have the X wide receiver. Okay, I've explained what a wide receiver is. And I'll explain again. And you can look up for yourself. I gotta find it the other day. I gotta find what I've So typically an X receiver is the number one receiver on the team. Okay. A Y receiver is the number two receiver and typically lines up on the opposite side and is on the same side as the tight end. Now, here's the thing. The Y receiver normally is sometimes a wide receiver could be a slot. But the wide receiver could be the guy that takes two opens up the field. I know real Jalen. I don't think we need. I'm not saying that we're gonna get Coleman. The problem is Mingo's just not good on the outside. He's better off in the slot, and I think he will thrive in the slot. I truly believe that. I think the guy can thrive in the slot. I think you got to go out and get a guy like Ladd. I would say the top two guys are either Worthy, Ladd, or our top three for me is probably in this order: XL 1. I probably go Ladd 2, Worthy 3. I think you probably go and get one. You get one of those guys at 33. If all those guys, to your question, Randall, are there, I think you take him. One of those three at 33. And then you get one of the defensive ends at 39 because they're not all going to be gone at 39. Maybe one or two of them, probably Darius and Chop are gone. But you'll still have other guys to get there. So, again, it all depends, man. We're going to listen, I'm going to be streaming tomorrow night too. I'm going to be streaming tomorrow night for the live for the draft. But I just we need to really watch how the night one goes. We really need to watch how night one goes because then we'll see how things follow down that path into round 2. And we also need to figure out what the hell's going on with this Atlanta Falcons thing. Is the tampering actually going to is the tampering actually going to fall through? Like, are they going to take away that 8th pick? That's what I want to know. I want to know, are they going to take that 8th pick? Because then that technically means we're going to be we'll be right there at 32 then. We won't be picking in the first round, but we'll be picking at 32 in the second. Next year's draft, okay. That's fine by me. All right. Let's talk about Mr. Bryce Young there real quick here. Okay. Let's talk about Mr. Bryce Young here real quick. So I was reading an article earlier today about Bryce Young. And basically it was about how he's trying to bounce back basically from a pretty tough rookie season. Okay. So in the NFL, you see, he was the number 1 overall pick in the 2023 draft, right? And everyone had these expectations from him right out the gate. And unfortunately, things didn't exactly go as planned. So I feel that the Carolina Panthers obviously drafted him and had put together what they thought was an all-star coaching staff, the Avengers, led by Eeyore Frank Wright. The guy who always was at the podium, like I said, smoked a pack of Marlboro Reds and drank a 12-pack of Budweiser when he got on that stage the next day and was dry as shit. They believe that their roster was already in great shape. I didn't think that roster was in great shape. I just thought we got our franchise guy when we drafted him. So I thought that we could win games, and that's why my dumb ass, who's still eating the crow from last year, and I'm still coughing up the feathers, that said that we were going to win 10 games last year. Look how that fucking worked out. Now that's brought me back to reality. That's why I am the way I am. I'm very honest. I'm very open. I'm very outspoken. I'm very realistic. The thing is that we were told one thing and got another. That we just needed a quarterback to take us to the next level. It was also that this team was ready to roll right now by a fucking idiot of a GM, Scott Fitterer. And I had high hopes for Scott Fitterer, honestly. But as it turned out, Young was constantly running for his life behind an offensive line that represented Swiss cheese. His receivers couldn't get open. Again, Jonathan Mingo and DJ Chark were in the top 2 of the worst wide receivers of creating separation. Well, not top 2, but in the top 10. Okay? People still don't want to realize that. And the coaching staff couldn't quite agree on anything. And everybody was in Bryce's ear. And couldn't agree on anything really to how to develop this kid. Plus, the team owner wasn't exactly helping Matt it matters with his own opinions, right? So basically what I'm getting at here is this is kind of like a rant that I've been wanting to say for a while, because I kind of go on these sometimes when I'm on here, right? Long story short, though, I do want to say this. Young had a disastrous rookie season. Whatever you want to say, okay? Okay? How things are looking right now for him in his second year, I would say a little bit more optimistic, but that may be because of the vibes and the new head coach. But the Panthers made some big moves. They strengthened that offensive line. They added new talent at the receiver. They brought in a young, new, offensive-minded head coach who is known for his expertise with working with quarterbacks. So far, Young seems to be really clicking with the new coach. He's talked about how refreshing it is to have someone's honest and straightforward with him rather than give him a different opinion every single day. He's excited to work with someone who's actually proven himself to be a top-notch QB coach, unlike someone else that was considered a quarterback's coach. Of course, it's not to me, I know this is not going to be an overnight thing. There's still lots to be done. You got Canales in one corner, and you got the Panthers continue to try to improve everything around him. I think there's a lot of potential for him, obviously, to turn things around. Can he become that star quarterback everyone thought he could be? Only time will tell. All in all, I think it's a pretty interesting story because it just goes to show that even the most talented players can struggle when they're not in the right situation. But with a bit of luck and right coaching, anything's possible. Anything's possible. But that is something that has been daunting on my mind. I wouldn't go that far. Drill Jalen. I wouldn't go that far. I've seen a lot of it seems like he's getting the DK Metcalf the same way that Mingo is. But what's up, Clay? Late night, I see. Yeah, today is a late night, my friends. Today is a late night because, well, here we are. Today is a late night. So, but we got the grind don't stop, Jeff. The grind doesn't stop. Okay. Now, I might be throwing. Okay, I might be throwing some draft buzz. Okay. Might be throwing a little bit of draft buzz here to you guys right now. It's a little bit of a curveball because I did hear something that's kind of surrounding our team about some upcoming NFL draft. And apparently all the talk has been about, obviously we know all the talks have been about how helping out Bryce Young, right? Okay. We know they're not going to stop there with that, with all the other moves they made in free agency. But a lot of reports are suggesting that the Panthers may draft, obviously, another wide receiver and even add a pass-catching tight end to help out this whole road of redemption for Bryce Young. I wouldn't even know if I would call it that. But the real twist in this whole story is that there's talk of them of drafting another quarterback, which we talked about earlier. But it's kind of it. But what's crazy to me is, why are they doing that? Now, don't get me wrong. I still think Young is still the man in charge but the Panthers may be looking for a long-term development project and an insurance policy just in case things don't work out. And I get it. Because after all, the only better backup quarterback you got is Andy Dalton on the roster. I mean, he's on his final year of his contract. But having a third quarterback on the roster is a smart move. Now, of course, this doesn't necessarily mean that Young's job is at risk. So a day 3 or even an undrafted free agent quarterback wouldn't change the fact that the Panthers want to do everything they can to help out their top pick from this past draft class, Bryce Young. It's going to be interesting to me to see if they go in this direction because it seems unlikely that they use a high draft pick on a quarterback. I mean, they could, but that would be nuts. When they have other needs to fill. So, I mean, what do you guys think? And I'm kind of interested to see, should the Panthers take a chance on another quarterback in the draft? Or should they focus on holes in the roster? Either way, to me, I think it's interesting to talk about. I think it's an interesting topic to talk about. It's still in my mind. Yeah, I wouldn't go and like get Michael Penix at 33, right? I mean, I know some cats, some Panther fans that definitely would do that. That aren't the most of those people, right? Are the Bryce haters. Undrafted free agent, yeah, for sure. What about grabbing Spencer Rattler 4th or 5th? I wouldn't be opposed to getting a quarterback, but that's only if we trade back and we're able to get like two extra picks, or unless we trade back like 2 or 3 times and we get like 2 to 3 extra picks. So then we go from 7 to like 10 draft picks or 9 draft picks. And then I would say, okay, go get a quarterback. I'm cool with it. For me, I might take a chance on Joe Milton in the 7th. I would take a chance on that. Just because Joe Milton's got an absolute fucking cannon, but he can't hit it on the broadside of a barn. But I would love to get Spencer Rattler, and that's just because I'm a Gamecock fan. Oh my God, Randall hating on Spencer Rattler. A lot of people don't see what you're seeing, Randall. A lot of people don't see what you're seeing. A lot of people could say he's the sleeper in this draft. So we shall see. All right, I'm going to give you my 5 players. By the way, let's pull this up. By the way, brought to you by BetUS, sponsorship of today's live stream, betus.com. Join today. Sign up for free today. Use promo code Pantherology. It's still Pantherology after I changed the channel name, which was Pantherology before. But the promo code is still Pantherology. Sign up for free today. You get 125% bonus on your first bet. You got the NFL playoffs right now. You got the NHL playoffs right now. So don't miss out on some free money to get into it. All right. And the link to the BetUS is in my link tree. And don't forget to become a member today and make sure you pound the like button and subscribe. Whether you're watching on Twitter or Facebook or on YouTube, make sure you come on over to the YouTube channel and like and subscribe. That's the best way you can show your support to the channel. And the best way you can show your support is obviously just coming over here and pounding the like button because it helps the algorithm get out to those that may not know who the Ropp Star Report is. And I would love to let others know that the Ropp Star Report is out there in this world. You know what I mean? All right. I got some players that I think that can fall in the Panthers' lap at 33. And I'm going to explain to you why I think that can be and all that good stuff. Um, okay. Let me pull up the big board here. Yeah, no, there's no free agents right now, Zach. There are no good free agents right now. Okay. First off, okay, there are some players who I think can fall to us at 33. It's really hard to predict how these things will usually shake up, but a few players I feel like there's always those few players that could slip through the cracks, right? Fall into the second round. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't really happen. When it comes to the draft, anything's possible. All right. But I'm looking at these guys who are projected first rounders who I think could actually still be available at number 33. Okay. So if we're looking at the center position, go ahead. I know. So if we're looking at the center position, Jackson Powers Johnson's one of the guys I think can fall. All right. Out of Oregon. He's definitely one of the top 2 center prospects in this draft. Some teams have him in the first round, could snatch him up, could be a tough decision for them if he's still available when Carolina's on the clock. Let's see here. Let's go to the corner position. I'm going to say Nate Wiggins is going to be available at 33 because, he's got elite speed. He's a playmaker on the field, but some scouts have given him a first round grade, but I can see him falling if there's a run on the receivers early. That's the only reason why I could see him falling. It's not that I don't think he's a first round talent. I just think how deep this wide receiver class is. I think if those wide receivers on the board fall on early, Nate Wiggins could fall down into the first round. Okay. Let's see here. Let's go to Mr. Let's do this. Let's go to edge defenders. I'm going to say Chop Robinson and Darius Robinson. I know that the PFF has them ranked like where they do, but I've seen a lot of mock drafts where Chop Robinson and Darius Robinson fall in the first or go in the first round. But here's the thing. Many view Darius Robinson. Okay. Many view Mr. Darius Robinson here as a late round, first round talent. But some are hesitant due to his lack of experience in that position. On the other hand, right, you got Chop Robinson right here, who is one of I think, the best pass rushers in this class, but has a low sack total. Both could be attractive options for the Panthers if they're still available. And of course, for me, this one's kind of easy for me. It's kind of easy, but Keon Coleman. Obviously, I don't think this guy's going to go in the first round. There's been a lot of speculation that he could, but there has been many projections as of right now that this guy could still go first round. Okay. He has a third round grade on him right now because he struggles in separation in early route running, but he needs to be consistent against press coverage. And some teams might pass on him in the first round, and then that leaves the door open for us to take him. But again, there's no telling who's going to be there. So, we shall see. All right. let's get into what I think everybody's been waiting for. Let's get into a mock draft. I'm picking for every team, first 3 rounds. I'm picking for every team for the first 3 rounds. All right, so we did this the other day. We're gonna start the draft. Obviously, I mean, this is gonna be so easy, right? I mean, we know that we know who's gonna be number 1 and all that stuff. All right, so let's start it off. It's unclear to me. It's unclear why, but to the start of the season, Justin Fields styled himself again for like Drew Bledsoe. Caleb Williams is definitely going to be the number 1 off the board. Okay. All right. They're going to draft Caleb Williams after they lost Justin Fields. Okay. That's no issue. Okay. That's obviously where they're going here. Okay. The only way Caleb Williams isn't the pick here is unless the man falls down some stairs or is abducted by aliens. Okay. It's the only way that's going to happen. Okay. Washington for me. I know that there's been a lot of speculation lately that Jaden Daniels, okay, that Jaden Daniels doesn't want to play there. I get that. Okay. It's all speculation. All of this is hypotheticals at the end of the day, folks. The Redskins had a major blocking issue last year, which that's why Sam Howell was the most sacked quarterback in the NFL. And they didn't give him much of a chance back there. Howell was also benched twice. So that experiment is over. The Redskins are going to select a quarterback with this pick. Jaden Daniels, to me, is the most accurate passer and the most dangerous runner who actually has a quality arm. Now, I understand that the rumors have indicated that they want to go with Drake May. I get that. But I think that I think the Redskins like May more than Daniels, but I've heard sources that have said the Redskins are inclined to draft Daniels. So I'm going to go Jaden Daniels here. Now with the Patriots. Okay, I think that we all know Mac Jones sucked last year. They couldn't land a franchise quarterback in the previous years. They've now have locked that 3 spot. Jones has gone from the Patriots, and so I think Drake May is the pick here. He's an athletic quarterback, good actually, great field vision. His mechanics do need some work, but he's still an elite prospect in my opinion. So I'm going to take obviously Drake May here. Now, this is where it gets interesting. The Vikings are inclined to get a quarterback. I think the Vikings are going to trade up. Okay. All right. I think that I don't predict trades very often. Okay. I'm gonna make an exception here because I think Minnesota is gonna move up. Whether it's right here, whether it's another pick, they're trading up. Okay. I think that the Cardinals will make a trade similar to this where the Vikings have to trade. The Vikings will trade the number 11 pick in 23 as well as a future first round pick. I think that that's what they're going to have to get up to get that 4 pick. And I think that they're going to be willing to do it. And I think at the 4 pick, they take a quarterback, and I think it's J.J. McCarthy. The reason why I think they take J.J. here is because the Vikings are moving up to get a quarterback. We know that. They have nothing at that position besides Sam Darnold. We know how Sam Darnold is. So I would understand the desperation to make a move. And ideally, they'd go to number 3 and land one of those 3 studs, but they might be limited in what they can do. So I think they go out and get an accurate quarterback with a solid arm who's pretty good in mobility, and they go out and get J.J. McCarthy. Okay. Now, another one. Los Angeles, they need a wide receiver. They got rid of they got rid of Williams. Keenan Allen's no longer on the roster. They need a number 1 wide receiver. The guy who's going to create the most mismatches on the field is Marvin Harrison Jr. So we're taking Marvin Harrison Jr. The Giants, okay? The New York Giants. I think they take Malik Neighbors. They need a wide receiver too, okay? They don't have really a lockdown receiver. They don't have that top receiver there. Okay, this team has 0 talent at the wide receiver position, in my opinion. With this, you get a quick, athletic wide receiver there in New York. Okay. All right, let's move on. Titans, I think they take the first tackle off the board. It's Joe Alt. They got to get a guy to replace Tyler. When they got rid of Taylor Lewan, they need someone to fill his shoes. So you get a good size, length, athletic outside, or get an offensive tackle. Now, Atlanta Falcons, I think they take Dallas Turner here. All right. I think they take Dallas Turner. I know Lieatu is right there, but I think they take Dallas Turner. I think it's just a better fit there. I think Dallas Turner, he's just one of the dangerous pass rushers in this, and he's incredibly athletic, strong frame. But I think he goes here top 10. Okay, I'm changing it up from my last one. Okay, I took some time to think about it. Okay. All right, now we're at the Chicago Bears. I think that Chicago actually goes edge rusher here too, but I think they take Lieatu here. Okay, they need some help. Okay, they get a guy who's a dynamic pass rusher, but the problem is he has some injury concerns, but he's got immense upside. Who is one of the top athletic pass rushers in this draft, right? All right, so now for me is the New York Jets. What do they need? They don't need a left tackle. Okay, they're not locked to get a tackle. I think they will get one because they got Tyrone Smith, but Tyrone Smith is not going to stay there that long. They can't afford. They can afford here to go the best player available, but which tight end are they going to go with? They have nothing at that position. So I'm sure Aaron Rodgers would love to get a tight end here. So I think if I'm the New York Jets, right? If I'm the New York Jets, you got to take Brock Bowers. Okay. You get the best tight end in the draft. He's an elite athlete, mismatch weapon. You get Brock Bowers. Okay. Sound off in the comments. Let me know what y'all think as we keep going through. All right. Breaking down a full mock draft from round 1 to round 3. I'll also be picking for the Panthers. I'm picking for every team. Okay. All right. I've never done this before in years past, but I'm doing this based off of what I've read, what I know, what I can see, what their wants and needs are. I'm just kind of winging it here. Okay. I'm winging it. Okay. But I'm giving you a breakdown as to why each and every one of these picks, because I have thought long and hard about this. It's not like I'm just bullshitting. I think this is something you can do. Okay. I think Arizona gets Roma Duzier. Okay. It wouldn't surprise me if they move up, though. Okay, to get one of the top receivers. I could see them trading with the Bears to leap for the Jets for Roma Duzier, but I think they still are able to sit here and after they made that trade, like I did with that trade with the Vikings. I think they're able to get Rome Duzier still here at 11. So I wouldn't be surprised by that. So I think that right here they take Rome Duzier. But here's the thing. I wouldn't be surprised if the Cardinals, if they don't make the trade with the Vikings, the one I made earlier, if the Cardinals move down from 4 to 11, and let's say they don't do that, I guarantee you they back up to the 5 or 7 range to select Malik Neighbors because they did something similar to that last year from moving down from 3 to 12, and then they moved right back up to 6. So I could see them doing that. I could see them doing that. All right, Broncos. Okay, the Broncos. I think that they get a guy who they get a quarterback here. I think Denver takes a quarterback. I think they take Bo Nix. That you can't tell me they're going to rely on Jared Stidham. Okay, I think they're going to take Bo Nix. Guy's got a strong arm, great mobility. They need a quarterback. I think they take Bo Nix. Okay, I think they take Bo Nix. Okay, they have nobody there, so you can't tell me they're going to. Now, on the other hand, I could see the Broncos going and getting Drake May or JJ McCarthy. Okay. They have to have another quarterback option, whatever up. That you can't sell the Denver Broncos fans. You can't sell the Denver Broncos fans Jared Stidham and Ben DiNucci as your quarterbacks. Okay. Now the Broncos can't get a quarterback for whatever reason. They'll probably consider getting a edge rusher, maybe Liatu Lietu falls down there. But to me, they have to be going. They got to get a quarterback. All right, we're at the Raiders. Okay, the Raiders. Now here's the interesting thing. It's becoming apparent to me that Michael Penix is going in the first round. I think the Raiders are just the team for him. Okay, Michael Penix is an intelligent quarterback with a giant arm. He's only 24-year-old. He's had injuries after injuries, but otherwise a terrific prospect. Now, other positions they could go here. They could pursue Penix in the later in the first round. If so, they need a stud correct tackle to protect Penix blind side. Quinyon Mitchell, the Raiders are also considering a quarterback at this spot. Could they go out and get Michael Penix here? Or do they take Quinyon Mitchell? That is the question. For me, if you're smart, I think if the Raiders are smart, they'll go out and go ahead and get Michael Penix so they don't have to trade. Because they're going to have to trade in the second round to get him. I don't think they'll have to trade in the first to get him. I think he will fall. If he doesn't go in the first, he will fall to the second. But if you're sitting there and there's other teams that could take a quarterback just like you there, which there are other teams like that, I think you got to go. I think if you're smart, you go ahead and take Michael Penix here. If you're smart as a Raiders, I think you take Michael Penix right now. So you don't waste draft capital. So, I mean, call me crazy, but I think the Raiders have to take him here. I don't see the point of view if he's there available at 13. What is the point of you waiting to round 2 to get him? Why not get him round 1 and go ahead and get it over with instead of trading like them trying to trade us at 33 to get him, or them trying to trade with any other team to go up there and get him. I just don't think that makes sense. The Broncos got Zach Wilson. I still think they go quarterback. Zach, the MILF hunter the Mile High MILF Hunter ain't gonna do that. Who else needs a QB past 13? Well, the Saints need one. LA could definitely use a successor after Stafford. Miami might be willing to go after him because I don't think they trust Tua there. Maybe. Yeah, I mean that's it. I would really say, unless the Bucks don't trust on Baker, but other than that, I don't see that. I don't see that being the case. I don't think any of these teams are taking quarterbacks. But again, you never know. You never know. I just think it would be smart if the Raiders took him. Went ahead and just got it out the way. So they don't have to worry and trade up. Because those scenarios could definitely happen. And someone could pick him up. And then here's the thing, Randall. Then they're going to have to give up more compensation to get him if a team drafts him. I'm just saying, I could see it. I could see it. I think if you're the Raiders, you go ahead and get Michael Penix. Just go ahead and get him off the board. I think if you're the Raiders, you go ahead and get him. All right. The Saints, the Aints, they need a left tackle back. If you're a Saints fan, you need to go ahead and get Fashanu out of Penn State. Penning is a major bust. They may take the best edge rusher or tackle available here, but I think you go tackle. You get a massive blocker guy with great athleticism. You go ahead, you get a guy like Fashanu. If you're a Saints fan, this is the guy you pick at 14. Okay. If he's there available. Now, Colts fans, if you're watching, okay, you need cornerback help. All right. You need cornerback help. You got to go get you need cornerback help. I think Quinyon Mitchell is going to be the first corner off the board. Okay. I think you got to go Quinyon Mitchell. Now, there's other scenarios here that I can see possibly happening. It wouldn't shock me if the Colts tried to beat the Cardinals to the punch trading up for a receiver. I think another thing here is Brian Thomas could be the thing because the Colts could reach a bit for Thomas or perhaps trade down for him. Okay. But I could see them also getting Taron Arnold here. A guy that is a quick athletic cornerback but he's got average height. I mean, it could be Randall. It could be. I mean, the reason you're asking, I mean, I get it. It could be smart for the Raiders to trade up for, again, a second round. Trade up in the second round and still get a first round talent, but I just think if you're the Las Vegas Raiders, you have to go up. You got to go ahead and get Michael Penix. Go ahead and get him. There's no point of you sitting trying to trade up for him. Go ahead and get him. I think so you don't miss out on him for sure. Because you're going to miss out on him, I feel like. That's just me. Damn, my allergies are killing me. So I think right here, I think the Colts are going to take a chance on Taron Arnold here. All right. They get that corner help. All right. I think Seattle, they take Cooper DeJean. The next corner's off the board. I think Cooper DeJean, he's an automatic and he's a versatile player. So they add that to him. All right. If I'm the Jaguars, I think they get Quinyon Mitchell here. Okay. I think they get Quinyon Mitchell. They need help at the corner position. Okay. All right. He has the size. He has the athleticism to be elite corner. I think that they get Quinyon Mitchell here. I think you get Quinion Mitchell here. All right. Now, Cincinnati. They need help on the offensive line. Jonah Williams has left for the Cardinals. They need to be replaced. Okay. J.C. Latham has the power to start at guard and the athleticism and be at tackle. So I think they take J.C. Latham out of Alabama. All right. Next up, we've got the Los Angeles Rams. The Los Angeles Rams. Now, Aaron Donald's retired. Okay. Aaron Donald has retired. Okay. Which is a bummer because the Rams had a great chance to make a Super Bowl run. I think they do. I still think they do. But Donald needs to be replaced. Byron Murphy has been impressive as a player, as both in the run game and in the pass rush game. The only negative is that he lacks in length, but I still think they take Byron Murphy out of Texas here. Now, Steelers, okay? I think they go out and get Mr. Graham Barton. Why? Why did they go out and get Mr. Graham Barton? Well, they signed Mason Cole recently. He turned out to be a bust. Cole was then cut recently. They're looking for a new center this offseason. Well, Graham Barton is a nasty run blocker. And you can move him to guard in the NFL, but he can also play center. So I think they take Graham Barton here. Miami. I think the Dolphins lost plenty of edge rushing talent this offseason. Meanwhile, Christian Wilkins has obviously we know departed. To go to he recently departed. And he went to Vegas. So they must find someone else to help that defensive line. Okay. Now they need someone who can hound Josh Allen, who can hound Aaron Rodgers. But I think the Dolphins could opt to get an offensive line if one of the studs fall to them, like Talise Fuage, but I still think that they go and get a Jazon Newton. I think the smart move for them is getting a Jazon Newton because their line wasn't very bad. Now, they did lose Robert Hunt, so they would have to replace him. Because we got him, right? But I think they try to get a guy to replace. They try to get a guy to replace. Excuse me. My allergies are killing me. They get a guy to replace Christian Wilkins. All right, now Philadelphia. I feel like the Eagles always draft for long-term goals rather than focus more on the season ahead. With that in mind, I think that a tackle makes sense here because Lane Johnson turns 34. He's going to regress, or he's going to declare retirement. Any by probably at the end of the next season. So the Eagles need to be prepared for that. I think that from what I know of, I think they go tackle here. I think they go get an Amarius Mims, a guy that can, who's got a lot of positive feedback from his scouting report and has a tremendous skill set and a lot of upside. So I think you go with Amarius Mims. Okay. Now I think we're right here. Yep, we're right here at the Arizona Cardinals. I think the Arizona Cardinals are going to take a tackle here. Okay. I think they take a tackle and they get Troy Fonatanu out of Washington. Guy who's got great length, size, strength, quickness, somebody that can help them protect Kyler Murray. That's been the biggest issue there in Arizona. All right, let's move forward. I think the Dallas takes I think Dallas takes Tyler Guyton. Where's he at? Actually, I don't think they take. Nah, they don't take Kitan. They take Talise. They'll take Talise Fuage out of Oregon State. I changed my mind on that. The reason why they take Talise Fuage, I think now that I'm thinking about it, looking at this draft board, I think they take Talise Fuage because, number one, they need a guy that can help out, who can he may have to move to guard in the NFL, but can play the tackle position. But I think they gotta find somebody with that versatility like that. I think it benefits Dallas in multiple ways after losing Tyrone Smith. So I think they go out and get Talise Fuage. All right. This is where Green Bay, they need a tackle. Dave Bakhtiari is gone. They need someone to block. I think this is where they go and get Tyler Guyton out of Oklahoma. All right. I think they go out and get Tyler Guyton out of Oklahoma. A massive tackle, great athleticism, someone with some good size, right? Tampa Bay. Okay. This is where it gets interesting to me. I think that the Buccaneers are going to have to replace Shaq Barrett. So, who was released recently. So, I think they go out. I think they go out and get an edge rusher here. I think they get Jared Verse out of Florida State. They keep the guy in Florida. Okay. All right. Next up is now Arizona. I think that they need help on the defensive line. Well, I think they need help on the defensive line, but I think that the Cardinals, if I'm not mistaken, they got Rome Duzier, so they don't need a quarterback here. Or a wide receiver, I'm sorry. I think they go and get and we already got him a left tackle, so that they don't need Jordan Morgan. So I would say then if that's the case, okay, if I'm Arizona, then I go out and get, I think you got to go out and get Chop Robinson, me personally. They need a versatile guy who can play in the 3-4 or 4-3, and he's an effective pass rusher, and they need help there. But they don't need the thing is for me, maybe it's not Chop. Maybe they need a guy like Darius Robinson, but I don't know. I think they take Chop if he's available here. So I'm going to go Chop Robinson to Arizona. All right. Buffalo, they're going wide receiver. I think they take Brian Thomas. Okay. Gabe Davis is now gone. Stephon Diggs is gone. They need a huge receiver with great athleticism, great upside. I think they go get him. All right. Now, Detroit. All right. Now, again, a lot of now here's the thing. Detroit needs a center. They need pass rush help, and they need a corner. Corner is probably one of the biggest things that they need. Okay. Play pause. Brian Thomas also 27. Do you think we look to give up the 101 and trade up with Arizona? Randall, I just don't like the trade up part, man. I just don't. And I think that the reason why, and I don't trust this, I don't trust this organization to trade up and get the right compensation back for it. Not saying that, or not the right compensation, but I think they are going to give up too much compensation, honestly. I think they're going to give up too much compensation. So if I'm Detroit, though, the biggest need here is not wide receiver. So they don't need a wide receiver. The biggest need is that, here's the thing. They need help on that in the corner room because Cameron Sutton arrested, which means the Lions must address the cornerback room early. But they also need a center for the future because they lost Jonah Jackson, so they need a guard right now. They may also need a center for the future if Frank Ragnow continues to get hurt. I can see either Kool-Aid McKinstry being the move here or Jackson Powers Johnson. Because again, or Nate Wiggins, I'm sorry. I should say Nate Wiggins or it's between for me for Detroit. It's between Nate and Jackson Powers Johnson. All right. What do y'all think? Nate Wiggins or Jackson Powers Johnson for Detroit? Because again, let me explain this to you. The Lions lost Jonah Jackson. Okay. So they need a guard right now. They also need a center for the future if Frank Ragnow continues to get hurt. So the move here to me does speak Jackson Powers Johnson, but then Kool-Aid McKinstry speaks to me because of Cameron Sutton's arrest. So what do y'all think in the comments? That's the question. We're doing the first 3 rounds of the draft, by the way, guys. We're almost done with the first round. Randall says, Wiggins, they need cornerback help badly. Could grab a center later with better value. Okay. We'll switch it up today. I'll go with Nate Wiggins to Detroit. Now, this is where it gets interesting to me. I think the Ravens are expected to address their offensive line, which makes sense. However, it always happens is that a talented player sometimes falls, but I don't think an overall talented player really fell. Too crazy. Now, again, I could see them going and getting a guy. I think if they go get if anyone's here, I think they get Kool-Aid McKinstry. They need corner help. I think they add to the corner room. They get a raw talent, credible upside. They can put him in that could be put in the first round. I think they go and get Kool-Aid because they need corner help. I think the Ravens go get a corner. San Fran, I think they go out and get a defensive tackle here. Jazon Newton already went off the board. So actually, you know what? Then that changes my mind then. Jazon Newton's off the board. So to me, then that means and Chop and Jared Verse are off the board. So that means they're not getting a defensive tackle. I think then, this is my prediction then, if those guys are off the board, and this is based off the mock draft I'm picking here, then I think they got to go get a tackle. And I think they do. I think they'll go out and get a guy like Jordan Morgan, or even maybe they go out and get a guy like Kingsley. Okay, because Lynch could also want to bolster up the trenches on the other side of the ball, even though I thought if Jazon Newton was there, they would take him. But they do have they do have some weakness up front that needs to be fixed, and I think that fixes it right there with a guy like Jordan Morgan. Now let's get to the Kansas City Chiefs, the good old Kansas City Chiefs. Now here's the thing, Kansas City. I don't see them taking a tackle here. I don't see them taking a defensive line. Now they could. Again, they could. Do I think that they do that? I don't know. For me, with the whole Rashee Rice thing, I think that the Kansas City has to take a wide receiver here. I think Adonai Mitchell might be the guy, right? I think that the Kansas City has to take a wide receiver with the Rashee Rice because the only other person they've got on that roster, I think, is Marquise Brown. Um, but then again, makes me think here. It makes me think. It does make me think they could get a tackle because here's another reason why I think they could go tackle. They do need receiver help. Okay, but they also have a huge hole at left tackle. That's the biggest issue there. Yeah, they won a Super Bowl, but he needs some blindside protection. I think they probably would go. They could go Brian Thomas here. Maybe if I didn't pick him earlier, maybe they go Keon Coleman. Maybe they go Xavier Legette because the Chiefs could trade up for Thomas, or they just use the pick on one of the wide receivers here. Okay. Then again, I can see Jordan Morgan or Patrick Paul being the pick for the offensive line options for this team. But Kingsley Suamate could be the pick here. I think I'm going to take a chance on Adonai Mitchell. I think they could use the pick on one of the receivers because of the whole Rashee Rice thing. All right. So I think they take a receiver there. All right. We're in the second round now, guys. So now we got the Carolina Panthers. I just think that with how things are panning out for the with the Panthers, man, I cannot not speak this into existence. I cannot not say that this is not going to happen. To me, this is what's really going to happen. I just think that they go Xavier Legette. I think they go out and get Xavier Legette. It's been too much talk about it. I think they just go out and get him at 33. They get their guy at 33. Now for the Patriots, it almost doesn't matter who's that quarterback. Okay. I will say hold on. Let me before I jump to the Patriots. The Panthers don't have any speed at receiver. Okay. They don't. They need some players at the position who can get open with speed. We don't have the guy who can stretch the field. That guy can stretch the field. I think Xavier Legette has been one of the biggest rising stars and rising wide receivers in this draft class. Okay. He is a massive receiver who has the speed to open up the playbook, the field. His speed is good enough for that. And his size. He's a guy who can go up and get it. He's also a big big end zone target. I think you got to go and get Xavier Legette. Okay. Now the Patriots. Okay. Now the New England Patriots. It does not matter who's the quarterback. The Patriots have to improve on their wide receiver room. So I think they take Troy Franklin. Okay. Arizona. All right. So Arizona, this is interesting now. We got their left tackle. We got Chop Robinson. I mean, they got everything they needed basically in the first round. I mean, wide receiver. Okay. Okay, with that trade. So they were able to get Roma Duzier at 11, Troy Fanatu at 23, and at 27 was able to get Chop Robinson. So what else do they need? So they need a center, guard, defensive line. All right. So let's see. They could take a corner. Let's see here. You know what? They need a center and a guard bad. They need to continue to protect Kyler Murray. I think they take Jackson Powers Johnson here. I think you get a guy that can help out. Excellent athleticism, got a steady motor there, and the guy's built like a damn fire hydrant. I mean, great leverage, great lower ground of gravity. I think that's who they get here. Okay. For me now, I think they got to go for Washington. I think they go out and get a corner. They need a guy. I think Washington actually goes to a corner here. I think they take Mike St. Ristel out of Michigan. Okay. They get a good corner with plus athleticism and quickness that they need there. They had one of the worst passing defenses in the NFL last year, so they'll have to focus on upgrading that secondary. So I think they take Mike St. Strell. Now, the Chargers here, I think they take Chris Jenkins. Okay, here's the reason why I think they take Chris Jenkins. They have excellent edge talent there in the LA for the Chargers, but they could improve their defensive line interior. So I think, like his father, Chris Jenkins is a disruptive interior presence that they need there in LA. Now, Tennessee Titans. I think they take a shot at Peyton Wilson. They need linebacker help. Okay. The Titans have a lot of issues at linebacker. They signed Kenneth Murray as a starter. That I don't know if that's going to end well. I think they get a good, big, athletic linebacker who can defend the run well. I think Peyton Wilson's that guy. They go out and get him. Okay. They go out and get him. All right. Carolina. We're back here at 39 to Carolina. I think Carolina's going to be looking in the corner room. Okay. I think they're going to be looking at the corner room because they lost Dante Jackson in that Deontay Johnson trade. So they got to get a replacing corner. So I think they go out and get a versatile defensive back with quality size in TJ Tampa. Okay. All right. Now, Washington, I think they've got that. It would be irresponsible if the Redskins draft a quarterback at number 2 and not provide a better left tackle than what they have now. Okay. So I think they go out and they get Karen Amajdaji. I can't really pronounce his last name, but he's a bit of a project, but got great size, length prospect, good skill set. I think it benefits Washington well there at that position. All right, Green Bay is up next, and I think they go out and get an edge. They got to get a pass rusher in there. I think that they take. I think they could add another front 7 player to help defeat the Lions. They're excellent on the offensive line. We already got somebody else in the draft for them at the offensive line position. Chris Broswell has a massive upside, someone who has rotated with other talented edge rushers in Alabama. So I think they go out and get Chris Broswell. I think that's the pick here for Green Bay. Houston Texans. Okay. The Texans lost some talent at the linebacker position this offseason. So I think they'll have to find a replacement in this 2024 NFL draft. I first had Peyton Wilson going here, but I'm thinking maybe go linebacker here and take Edgerrin Cooper because they need some help there. But I can also see Junior Colston being the first guy off the board. Guys, I'll put you to sleep and I'll put you in your beds in a little bit. My dogs are looking at me right now. God. I could see Edgerrin Cooper going here or Junior Colson, but I'm not going to do it. You know what? I think, but they go a different route here. They do need help on the interior. I think I'm going to go with Braden Fisk here. I think they still need help in that interior. I know they lost some talent at the linebacker position, but I still think that they could get someone else on the back end to help there, like a Cedric Gray or something. So I think Braden Fisk might be the pick here for them to go defensive tackle because they do need help on that line. The Falcons, I hate to say this, guys. I think the Falcons are going to take a wide receiver here. And I think they take Ladd, actually. I think they take Ladd. If you can't count you can't count on them. The Falcons have nothing at receiver outside of Drake London and Darnell Mooney. They need a good guy who's got the speed and route running ability. I think they take Ladd. Okay. The Raiders, they need help. Okay. They need help. They need help at that tackle position. They went, so I think they go out and get a guy like Kingsley Suamate to help out. Excuse me. They need help at that left tackle position. So they get a they get a tackle, they get a plus athletic tackle here to add some length there on the roster. Are you tired? Yeah. You tired? All right, New Orleans. Another thing. Another team that needs help at the corner position. So I think that if the New Orleans Saints, they struggle at the corner back across from last year. Marshawn Lattimore was the only person that was in that position. They got to address and get him some help on the other side. So I think they go out and get an Enos Rakestraw out of Missouri. Indianapolis Colts. I think that they go wide receiver here because they went out and got Taron Arnold at the corner position in the first round. They need some wide receiver help. So I think for them, they got to go out and get a wide receiver here. I think they go out and get Xavier Worthy. I think it benefits him because there were rumors at one point that the Colts would trade for A.J. Brown, but they may spend an early pick on the receiver. They could go and get, Brian Thomas. They could be a team that goes out and get any of those early receivers instead of a corner first. But I think they go corner first. But they get a good receiver here, and Xavier Worthy, good shifty receiver with good length. I think it's a good move. All right, the Giants. The Giants need some help. Okay. They need some help at the guard position. They also need help at the center position. They need help across the board here. I know it's the 47th pick, but this could be a massive mistake for the Giants to not address their dreadful offensive line. I know this is a bit of a reach, but I think they take a guard here. I think they take Cooper Beebe here. because it's a huge mistake. They need a guy who's excellent in pass protection, and they don't have it. So I think they take a chance, and they definitely need it at the left guard position. That's the thing that this guy that's where they need it. So this guy's a left guard. Christian Haynes, he's more of a right guard, so I wouldn't see him going there. And Zach Frazier just doesn't make sense. So I think they go ahead and take Cooper Beebe here at 47. I know that's a reach. I know y'all are like, Clay, what are you talking about? But I think it's a mistake if they don't do it early. Jacksonville. All right, they need defensive tackle help. All right. I'm thinking about taking Rook here for them because they need as much talented as possible up front to put that pressure. The talent in their quarterback because they got a quarterback division now. You got Anthony. We'll see how Anthony Richardson is. I think Rook fits them better because he's got a nice frame, decent upside. He can play both 4-3 and 3-4. So that's why I want to take him here. I kind of want, but so I'm gonna rock with it. I think they take Rook. They need that interior help. All right, this is where it gets crazy too. But again, these rankings on PFF are terrible in my opinion. I'm just using them because I think they have the best draft simulator. Their rankings are terrible. I think T'Vondre Sweat comes off the board here still. I think he does. Cincinnati has one of the worst run defenses in the NFL this past season. And T'Vondre Sweat is a massive and great athlete for a player his size. He has strong comparisons to Jordan Davis. I think that they take him here. They need that help. So I think they take T'Vondre Sweat. I still, even though after everything that's happened with the kid, I still think they take him. Philadelphia. The Eagles have two stud receivers, nothing beyond them. They need better, a third wideout. Okay. I think they need a third wideout. They need a guy that can create separation, great route runner. I think they take Ricky Parasol out of Florida. Steelers. They need to get they need another wide receiver. Deontay Johnson's gone, so the Steelers must find a new receiver. I think they need a guy that can help also create some mismatches. So for me, I kind of see them could take Roman Wilson though. I mean, but I could see it being Keon Coleman, honestly. I think they take. I'm gonna say Keon Coleman. The guy is a guy who can create mismatches in his side. His speed is very undervalued. I think a lot of people doesn't think that he's as fast as he is, but at this combine, watch his gauntlet drill. He got up over to 20+ mile an hour. And he's got enormous upside, in my opinion. So, Los Angeles Rams, they need some center. They need to shore up that offensive line. They need to add one more interior player. So I think they go out and get Zach Frazier. Philadelphia again here at 53. I think they got to get some corner help. I think they go out and get a guy like Kamari Lassiter here. I think they get Kamari Lassiter out of Georgia. The Eagles had horrific play from their cornerbacks last year. They need to address that position on multiple occasions this offseason. Lassiter has some upside of being a cover corner in the NFL. I think they go there. Cleveland. I think this is where Roman Wilson goes off the board. Okay. The thing is Roman Wilson really what they're looking for in a wide receiver? Lacks height, but he's pretty thick built. For his size, really. I mean, so I think they take Roman Wilson out of Michigan here. Miami. Welcome to Miami. Oi, Miami. Miami. What? He's playing with the circle. What's the problem? You're okay. All right, let's continue. We're going to get into the third round here. So we're almost to the third round. All right, let's continue. Let's see here. Good Lord. What did we take from Miami in the first? So we already got him a defensive tackle. They need guard and tackle help. We already took a defensive line. They could go, but they could take a tight end here. But we already got him defensive line help, so they do kind of need some tackle help. Okay, if that is the case, so they could have taken him. Wow. Hey, you two settle down. Maybe they take Brandon Coleman or Blake Fisher. They could take Blake Fisher here or Roger. Nah, I think they take Blake Fisher. They definitely take Blake Fisher. He's the better right tackle out of the two. He's quicker too, better, and he's kind of more versatile. He could go into the interior. Dallas, I think Dallas takes a running back here. I think they go ahead and they go ahead and take Trey Benson. I think Trey Benson will be the first running back off the board. Because he had the best combine, he's got the best size, speed, he's the most versatile. Tony Pollard, I thought was a colossal bust for the Cowboys. They need a new running back. Trey Benson is a challenging downhill runner, and he has showed off his unexpected athleticism at the combine. I think they take him there. Buccaneers, Devin White. They lost Devin White this offseason. Levante David doesn't have much time remaining. The linebacker room needs help. So if Tampa Bay is smart, I think they go out and get a linebacker, and I think they take Edgerrin Cooper. This is where Edgerrin Cooper unfortunately goes to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, Green Bay, I think they take it. They have some issues at safety. They need to address that early. So I think they take Tyler Nubin out of Minnesota. Okay. Come here. Get down. Are you stupid or are you dumb? Which one is it? Because you're about to get slapped the fuck up. Don't you ever hop on that counter again. Come here. The hell's wrong with you? Right in front of my face, you stupid fuck. All right. Then, next up, Houston. They got to address the defensive back. They need help. Jacksonville's got talented receivers. I think they take Javon Bullard, who's a safety, or a cornerback, or it can be a nickel corner. He basically has the same, apparently he has the same similarity as Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. So I think Javon Bullard goes off here. Buffalo Bills. Marshawn Nealon wasn't overly productive at Western Michigan, but looked good at the Senior Bowl. They do need some edge help. But again, they could take Marshawn Leland. But I think they need someone like Adiza Isaac. So I think Adiza Isaac comes off the board. Next up is Detroit. I do think Detroit does need some help at wide receiver. Jameson Williams hasn't been the best there so far. The Lions, I do think they need another receiver with Josh Reynolds gone. So I think they go ahead and take Jalen Polk out of Washington to fill that void. Okay. Baltimore, I think they go out and get they need help on the offensive line. They've lost 3 offensive linemen this offseason. So they have to find some blockers in the early rounds. They got to get someone to protect. I think Roger Rosengarten, who protected Michael Penix blindside well, he was a potential. He has the potential to play guard as well. So I think they take a chance on a guy like him here at early. I think this is where San Francisco. There's a lot of talk about the 49ers possibly trading Brandon Ayuk. So here's a potential replacement. I think they go with a guy like Malachi Corley. Okay. Just a nice blend of speed and route running ability, yards after the catch, the Yak King. Kansas City. Okay. The receivers were a significant need for the Chiefs, even when Rashee Rice, we went ahead and got them Adonia Mitchell. I think here they've got to get someone to help protect Patrick's blind side. So I think they go out and get it Brandon Coleman out of TCU. Now we're into the third round. Okay. Now, call me nuts. Call me crazy. Do what you want. I think the Carolina Panthers, and this is just because they don't have much talent in this room. I think they take Jadavion Sanders. I mean, they don't. They need a tough guy. They need a guy that can has the receiving ability in a tight end, and we don't have any of those guys. Jadavion Sanders is that guy. It's a tough decision for me to pick here, but I'm going off of what I think they need. Arizona. Let's see what did we go with you here? So we went Jackson Powers Johnson. Didn't we pick you twice in the second round too? Damn. Okay. Did we pick you a corner in the first round? We got Chop, Troy, and then what did we get? Rome. Okay, we're good there. So you need corner. Okay. The cornerback is a huge issue for Arizona. It's a huge issue for the Cardinals. So they may address the position twice. In the early rounds, they could. I think they take a guy though, Max Melton. I'm not big on Andrew Phillips. I like Max Melton better there. I think they take Max Melton out of that. Okay, next up is Washington. They need to find an upgrade or someone that can back up. Well, they don't need a running back. So they definitely need a tight end because they need someone who can back up. They need to find an upgrade over Logan Thomas sometime soon. But I was thinking about going tight end here. We got him the corner or the QB. Washington. What else did we get you? We got you a corner. We got you a tackle. Okay. Got you a corner. Got you a tackle. What about let's get you a pass rusher here. That could definitely benefit the Washington Commanders is getting a pass rusher. So they definitely need to bulk up that pass rushing. I think they take Darius Robinson here if he's available. I think they take Darius Robinson here. All right. Okay. Patriots offensive tackle. I think they take Patrick Paul here. I know it's a 101 pick, but they need some help. They have a massive pass protection issue and they have to address it. And I think that Patrick Paul could even though again this is PFF's rankings where I'm just going based off these teams' needs and what they need to address and what research I've done to address that they can address them with. This is how my mock draft has played out for the first two rounds. So, whether their PFF what ranks them this low or high, whatever the case may be, that's on PFF. That's their ranking. I can't do anything about that. So I'm taking Patrick Paul. They need to address the pass protection issue, and they get Patrick Paul. The Chargers, they do the same thing here. They got some issues on that line. They need to protect. They need to improve the pass protector. You can get a guy that can play both left tackle, right tackle out of Kansas, Dominique Pune or however you pronounce his name. Spencer Rattler. Spencer Rattler. No, I'm just kidding. He's picking. I just want to see what I pick for the Giants. Actually, I might pick Spencer Rattler here. Yep. I'm going to pick. This is where I think Spencer Rattler goes. I think Spencer ends up in New York. Here's the reason why I think Spencer ends up in New York. Given that Jones' constant incompetence, the Giants need to develop a young quarterback behind Daniel Jones. Spencer Rattler, I think, has big time upside, whether y'all believe that or not. He's got an arm strength and athleticism, but the problem is, I will say this as a Gamecock fan, and I've watched him enough. He has a erratic decision making. He's got erratic decision making, but they need a quarterback. Okay. The Cardinals here, they need to continue acquiring pieces to help their dreadful secondary. So I think they go out and get a safety here. I think they go out and get a Jaden Hicks out of Washington State. They need a significant safety who is physical and intuitive. So I think they get that here. The Jets, wide receivers, I think they need to get a wide receiver. Okay. They don't have much of a receiver besides Garrett Wilson, so they'll have to find someone. I think you got to get some speed out there. I think you get Jermaine Burton out of Alabama. You got this guy's got the plus. He's got the speed, quickness, quality route running. I think the Jets take Jermaine Burton there. Okay. Detroit. Again. So Detroit, what did we get them in the first round? We got them a corner. And we got them in didn't we get them a wide receiver here? Yeah, we got a wide receiver. Okay. They need some help in that interior. And they need some guard help. Okay. I think they definitely are going to have to get somebody to help out in that guard position. So, then thing is part of me wants to take a center for them too, because they lost Jonah Jackson. Okay. In the guard position. To me, you got to replace that. I think they go and take a chance of the South Dakota State boy here and take Mason McCormick out of South Dakota State. They gotta replace Jonah Jackson at that left guard position. So I think they go out and do that right there. Atlanta. Okay, the Falcons have a stud safety in Jesse Bates. The thing is, to me though, is I still think they need some help in that position. So I think if they go out and they look at a safety, I think they go and get Kalen Bullock out of USC, a guy that has excellent instincts and ball skills. So I think you got to go get. I think Atlanta's got to go get him. All right, Chicago. They signed Kevin Byrd, but he's a short-term option. I think we're going to stay in the safety room again. I think they get a safety. I think they take Cameron Kitchens. I know his ranking's not that high, but I think they take Cameron Kitchens here. Just an instinctive player who can make some splash plays for them. They got Kevin Byard is just a short-term option for this team. All right. Next up, the Denver Broncos. Okay, the Broncos have been looking into running backs. Okay. Which isn't surprising to me given the fact that Javonte Williams' history. I think they actually go out, even though and they go out and get Jalen Wright here. The reason why I think Jalen Wright is because he's got the plus size, the quickness, he's got decent receiving ability. So I think that you got to go out and get yourself a running back. Okay. Let's continue. Las Vegas Raiders. I think they got to get a cornerback. Okay. I think they got to go get a cornerback. I think that they get a guy like Andrew Phillips here. Washington's back on the board. Okay. What did we take for Washington? So we got him. Let's see, Washington, Jaden. Okay. Jackson, Mike St. Strell. Okay. Yeah, Mike St. Strell. Then we get a tackle. And we got an edge rusher. But they need to bolster up that offensive line, and they do need a tight end, though. They could take a chance here and take a tight end and get a guy like Eric All, Benson Knott, Kate Stover, maybe. Maybe they take a chance to get an Eric All out of Iowa. They do need someone to replace Logan Thomas. I'm going to say Kate Stover's the guy here, though. I would take Kate Stover. If they go tight end and they want to replace Logan Thomas, you got to get a guy. I think Kate Stover's better than Eric All, me personally, so I think they take Kate Stover there. Let's see. Atlanta is up again. Okay, so I think Atlanta actually gets Christian Haynes here to bolster up that offensive line, right? They need to get an upgrade in the interior of their offensive line. I think Christian Haynes is a steady pass protector, a stellar run blocker. I think a guy that they need. Cincinnati. So the Bengals have a weak secondary. Okay. Cincinnati has a weak secondary. So they're expected to draft a quarterback in the first 3 rounds. I think that they got to go out and get a guy like this. Tyree Jackson. Guy who is a terrific athlete, who's incredibly fast, and receivers. He's a guy that really receivers dread going up against. Now, here's the thing that sucks for us based off my first 2 picks. First 3 picks for us. Seattle's interior offensive line is a complete mess. Some stability is needed. I think they go and get Cedric Van Pran here. Unfortunately, I think Cedric Van Pran goes to Seattle at 81. I really do. I mean, it's if you don't get him at 65, he's not falling. And if we don't trade back and we don't get the extra draft capital as a Panthers fan, he's gone. But the Seattle's offensive line is in an absolute shambles. So I think Cedric Van Pran is solid in both run blocking, pass protection. I think they get him here. Next up is the Indianapolis Colts. I think they get Junior Colson. They need linebacker help. Okay. They need another linebacker to compensate Shaq Leonard's departure. A guy who's a stout run defender. Pass coverage is promising, but there's still a bit of question marks for him. But I think Junior Colson's the guy there for the Indianapolis Colts. All right. LA. Okay. They need to add some quarterback talent in that this offseason, and they could still use another player. I think Kalen Carson has plus speed, size, and movement. I think that's a definitely a corner they could go with. I think they take Renardo Green. Him and Carson are very close, but I think they take the Renardo Green there. Pittsburgh. The Steelers could spend a mid-round pick on an edge rusher as an insurance policy for TJ Watt getting hurt. I think they go out and get a guy like Jonah Ellis. Okay. I think Jonah Ellis, who had a tremendous 2023 season as a rushing the passer, a little bit undersized, could be a rotational player, edge player, but I think it's a solid pick for them as well. Okay, Cleveland. Okay, Joel Bitonio is usually a great guard. I think that's how you pronounce his last name there in Cleveland. Bitonio. I don't know how you pronounce it. Whatever. Bash me in the comments. But he turns 33 in October. He didn't have the best year last year. So I think they got to go out and get a guy in the interior. And I think they go and get Christian Mahogany. All right, to help out in that interior offensive line. Strong interior alignment with plenty of power. That's what you need. All right. Houston. Jalen Simpson. Okay, they need some safety help. Now, I could see Jalen Simpson. I could also see Cole Bishop. But the Texans need to continue to bolster up that weak secondary. All right. I think that they go out and get a safety like actually I think they go out and get Taylor Dimerson. The reason why I think they get this guy is because he's an intuitive safety. He just needs to bulk up a little bit for me. Dallas. Now this is where they need to get they need a linebacker bad. Okay. Dallas needs a linebacker bad. Let me see what I picked for them. Talise Fawage. And then what did I pick for them in a second? Trey Benson. Okay. Talise, so I think they got to get Lakin Venderesh can't stay healthy, so one team removed him. So one team removed him from their draft board several years ago. Cedric Gray was one of the top linebackers, but I think Jeremiah Trotter is one of the top linebackers, and I think they take him here. I think they take Jeremiah Trotter. All right. Now, this is where it gets interesting. I think Green Bay takes Blake Corum. Here's why. A.J. Dillon was a horrible replacement for Aaron Jones this past season. The Packers need a better number 2 running back behind Josh Jacobs. Blake Corum runs great with great strength and balance. Give me Blake Corum at Green Bay. All right. Tampa Bay. Okay. Tampa Bay. They need a corner. They need corner help. Okay. They had major problems to fit in the pass last year. It's only going to worsen if they don't address the quarterback room because Carlton Davis is gone. I think they go out and get Kalen Carson. All right. Arizona's up. Okay. Now I got to go look at all their picks because they got like multiple. So Roma Duzier, left tackle, edge rusher. Okay. And then center. Okay. Corner. Ooh, okay. Maybe they go D tackle here. I think I'm going to go Brandon Dorless. They need some help in that interior. They need some help. They need another guy that can help. If you want to beat the 49ers, you got to bolster up that defense. Getting a guy like Brandon, getting a guy like Brandon Dorless, and then you had Chop Robinson to add to that defense. You get Max Melton, a big time corner. It definitely helps them a lot on defense, and that's where they needed a lot of help there. And Chop Robinson, they can use him on the outside linebacker or they can use him off the edge. He's one of those guys who's very versatile like that. All right. Green Bay again. I think they're going to do the same thing here and go defensive line. I think they got to get somebody to help them. I think they take Michael Hall Jr. I know his ranking's not that high, but they have a big weakness against the run for quite some time. And I think they get a guy like Michael Hall, who is a little bit limited in his athletic ability, but he had very good production there at Ohio State. So I like Michael Hall there. Now we're back to Tampa. I think they take a wide receiver here. I actually think they take Johnny Wilson. Here's the reason why I think they take Johnny Wilson. Both Tampa Bay receivers are 30 plus. So some young eventual replacements are needed. I think Johnny Wilson's a massive receiver who might have to become a tight end in the NFL, but again, it helps them out in the pass game. Okay. Baltimore. We're running out the stretch here. All right. Baltimore. They need some linebacker help. They need linebacker help bad. I think you take Tommy Inchberg here. Okay. They need to replace Patrick Queen. A high athletic, fast linebacker. Give me Tommy Inchberg. San Francisco, they need an edge. Guess who is there? Marshawn Nealon. All right. Marshawn Nealon, a good running fielder with a good size frame. His pass rush needs to improve a little bit, but was very good there in Western Michigan. Kansas City Chiefs. Andy Reid loves to bolster up that interior offensive line. I think they do so. So no one should be surprised if he sends 2 early picks on that area. I think they take a guy like I know, like, and here's the thing: this is PFF's rankings. That doesn't mean that they're going to be. That doesn't mean they're not going to get picked early. Okay. Okay. I think that these guys could. I could see Javon Cohen come off the board early and Zach Sender coming off the board early. Okay. I think they take Trevor Keegan. They add some. They bolster up to that offensive line. Okay, solid there in Michigan. Could face some limitations in the NFL, but it's a good pick. Jacksonville Jaguars. They signed Gabe Davis, but they're still interested in adding one more receiver to the mix. Some media members have Tez Walker projected in the first round, but some teams have him in the middle of the rounds because of the separation question marks. So I think Jacksonville takes Devontae Walker here. Cincinnati. Bengals could be looking for a receiver early on, given the fact that T. Higgins wants to leave soon. So I think they go out and they get Javon Baker. Okay. Now, the Steelers. I think I already got them a receiver. Yeah, I got them Keon Coleman. I got them Keon Coleman. What did I get them before that? So center / tackle. I think they got to get a corner here then, because they got a center / tackle. I mean, they could take a tackle here. Could take Matt Gonzalez, but I just don't see the point in that. If I'm them, I'm taking a corner. They've got the wide receiver and everything else. I think you take a chance with Chris Abrams-Drain, the guy that you can fill that void in the corner room that they need, because they did not have one of the best. They got the Dante Jackson now, but they still need someone else to rely on. You can't rely on Dante Jackson to stay healthy there in Pittsburgh. All right, if we're talking to the Los Angeles Rams, now we know Aaron Donald retired. Okay, so we went out already for the Rams, and in the first round we took Byron Murphy. Okay, in the second round for the Rams, did they have a second round pick? Yeah, we took a center, Zach Frazier. Okay, So now they've bolstered up both the offensive line, defensive line. They could take a quarterback here. They could take Michael Pratt, take a chance with him, put him on the backside be the successor for him. Defensive line, they don't need. We've already added to that. Linebacker, I would wait. We could take a tackle here in Matt Gonzalez, which they do need help there, help protect. So I'm gonna take Matt Gonzalez, someone that can help protect Stafford. And last but not least, we got Washington. They need some offensive line help too in Washington. So you know, they need some offensive line help. They need to make sure they can protect their new quarterback. So I know might be a very, very, very high pick, but I'm going to take Isaiah Adams out of Illinois. Okay. So there is your first 2 rounds. That's crazy. I can't get the that's the first 2 rounds. I might have to post this up though. Might have to post this up. So that was the first round 1 through round 3. Appreciate everyone joining the live stream. Make sure you pound that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Make sure you click that post notifications bell so you don't miss any new content. We broke down the minicamp today. We also broke down rounds 1 through round 3. I've been live for 2 hours and 45 minutes. It's almost midnight. I don't normally go this late, so appreciate everyone joining the live stream. Do me a favor, if you're watching over on Twitter, come on over to the YouTube channel. There's 25 people over there. Come on over to the YouTube channel. Make sure you pound the like button and subscribe. That's the best way you can support my channel. And I'm gonna go to bed. So I appreciate everyone joining. And as always, guys, y'all know what to do. Have a blessed night. Sleep well. Y'all know what to do. Keep pounding. Peace.